Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Customs Duty brought to you by the Nigeria Customs Service. Controller General of Customs Bashir Adeniyi, MFR, reassures stakeholders at B. Odogu pre-launch of seamless transition, commit to prompt addressing of likely challenges. Nigeria Customs Service uncovers new smuggling tactics by field smugglers as Operation Whirlwind again intercepts petroleum products. We'll also bring to you other reports alongside the usual Custom Hub segment, where we get you informed on activities that relate to import and excise duty collection for the week. My name is Tosi Obiakeme. Please stay with us.
As it continues to solidify its modernization process with the view to facilitating trade and enhancing ease of doing business, the Nigeria Customs Service has seen to pre-launch of Budogu, the service's unified management system, having had a successful pilot project at Port and Terminal Multi-Services, PTML Command. Deputy Comptroller General Kikelomo Adeola sets the ball rolling by discussing where the service is at the moment regarding deployment of Budogu.
The Nigerian Customs Service has made giant stride sequel to our deployment at the Pilot Command PTML in resolving teething issues with digital platform, the Budogu system, alongside many incremental achievements with stakeholder sensitization and effective problem resolution. These and other interventions have massively reduced any and all forms of demurrage incurred by traders in the Pilot Command. Some of our success stories are training of traders, licensed custom agents, officers, terminal operators, and all other critical stakeholders on the effective usage of the Budogu digital platform. The successful setup of server and access points, workstation and network services, and other critical infrastructure for successful implementation of the UCMS was done, and that is why we have the record of not having 1 minute of downtime on Budogu system. Was our integration with authorized dealer banks. We were able to successfully resolve it, and the challenges were surmounted. We now have all authorized dealer bank on Budogu digital platform.
Minor challenges experienced at the Pilot Command notwithstanding, Comptroller General of Customs Bashir Adeniyi, MFR, says the service will move ahead.
When you launch a project of this magnitude, we are not deceiving ourselves thinking that this is going to be a walk in the park. When we launched it at PTML, a relatively smaller command, we experienced a number of glitches, and they are not surprising. And as we experienced those glitches, we had a very, very strong and helpful implementation team that was on hand to address some of these challenges. There are some of them that we have been able to address, but there are some that were still carrying over to this place. Are we going to wait until we completely finish addressing those issues before we deploy? We felt that the timelines that we had, is very tight, so we can begin the development and deployment of these systems in other places. And along the line, we would also be addressing the challenges that they raise. With your cooperation, with your support, with your understanding, we will together address all those challenges.
Comptroller Tani Danian of PTML Command shares the success story of Budogu at its pilot stage.
I can tell you that during this period we are talking about, we have realized over 120,000 billion. Yeah, there was 48 days, under 48 days, 45, 35, so over 120 billion has been realized on Budogu platform. It's paid through Budogu, so it's a success story.
We have the assessment of Budogu from the stakeholders' perspective.
Budogu is faster. When you want to take delivery more faster, it's different from 9.6. And if you look at when it comes to security aspect, it's our indigenous platform, which is going to be favorable for us if the customs can work as they started.
Bashir Adeniyi reassures of the commitment of the Nigeria Customs Service to leaving no stone unturned until Budogu succeeds and the nation reaps the benefit as he speaks with the customs duty crew.
We are taking the best hand in the country in terms of connectivity to drive what we are going to be doing on Budogu. We're going to be launching this on May 1. And May 1, we drive all our connectivity issue in Apapa, in Tinkan, One, and all the major ports. And we're also going to have Plan B in case the connectivity with May 1 fails. We are not hiding the fact that there might be glitches when they happen. The most important thing is that we are going to put in place contingency plans to help us to address the issues of glitches when they happen.
He notes that the service, in collaboration with the banks, is working towards integrating PAR and Form M, which were not included in the PTML pilot. He further assures stakeholders of the system's robustness, as it is designed to improve efficiency and revenue generation. That the Nigeria Customs Service is being led by a visionary and transformational leadership is no doubt a statement of fact. The pilot of the journey remains Bashir Adeniyi, MFR. His policy thrust of consolidation, collaboration, and innovation has surely lifted the spirit of trade facilitation, ease of doing business, and modernization drive of the service. Once again, this visionary leader has been recognized and honored. This time, Bashir Adeniyi has been honored with the Sun Newspaper Public Service Award, recognizing his leadership quality and contributions to national development. Bashir Adeniyi reacts to the recognition.
Getting recognition, this kind of recognition is really very encouraging, and I must say also very, very, very inspiring. Through our core mandates, we contribute our own quota to development, revenue generation, trade facilitation, and security, But then this is a call for better service. This is a call for better service delivery. This is a call for us to do more than we are doing.
He shares what more the service will be doing in 2025.
By the grace of God, we will be doing more that will impact our communities through corporate social responsibility programs that we are going to be launching in about 2 weeks from now. This is going to be community focused, and we are going to be anchoring it on the SDGs and the 8 priority areas of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So we are indeed very, very grateful, and because this is not an award for the CG alone, it is dedicated to all officers and men all over the country, in the borders, in the ports, at the headquarters, those who are doing their best for the betterment of the country. In specific terms, we are going to be looking at education, we're going to be looking at health, we're going to be looking at provision of waters in communities where we serve. So our communities will be at the center of our actions in 2025 and beyond.
Dignitaries at the occasion include Abdullahi Ganduji, who is the chairman of the occasion, members of the National Assembly, ministers, captains of industry, royal fathers, zonal coordinator, Zone A, and customs area controllers in Zone A, amongst others. Smugglers of premium motor spirit, PMS, have continued to suffer setbacks as the Nigeria Customs Service's intelligence-driven operations through Operation Whirlwind have again resulted in another seizure of 28,300 litres of the item, valued at 35.8 million naira, along the Lagos-Ogun border region.
The seizures were strategically executed at identified smuggling corridors, and I'm going to take you through some of them. The first one is the Badagry-Seme corridor, which accounts for approximately 35% of the total seizures. This axis remains the primary smuggling route, with multiple interceptions recorded along Badagry-Seme Road and Badagry Waterside. The proximity to the Republic of Benin and the complex network of waterways in this area continue to make it a preferred route for smugglers. The second identified corridor is the Imeko-Afon axis in Ogun State, emerging as a significant secondary corridor with about 25% of the total seizure. This area has seen increased smuggling activities, particularly at Oloko-Afon, Obada Adeniyi, and other remote communities within Imeko-Afon in Ogun State. The third is the Ilaro Oja-Odo network, contributing approximately 22% of the intercepted products. This network has become increasingly active with sophisticated smuggling attempts through Oja-Odo North and Yewa North areas. The last is the Owode Agility route, which is responsible for about 18% of the seizures. These routes represent another emerging corridor being exploited by smugglers attempting to circumvent our traditional enforcement positions.
The Comptroller General of Customs intimates on new smuggling tactics discovered by the service.
The operational data reveals several emergent trends in smuggling tactics that warrant our attention. The first is that there's a temporary shift in the pattern that warrant our attention is the use of multiple small volume movements. A shift from the large volume single shipment, which we used to see before, to multiple small vehicle movements using smaller containers strategically timed to coincide with periods of reduced enforcement visibility.
Bashir Adeniyi highlights significance of collaboration to the successes often recorded by the Nigeria Customs Service, and, in this context, by Operation Whirlwind.
The successful implementation of Operation Whirlwind highlights the critical importance of strategic interagency cooperation in addressing complex national security challenges. This collaborative framework, championed by the National Security Advisor and vigorously supported by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, characterizes the administration's proactive stance on security governance. Mr. President's directive on preemptive response to early warning signals of security threats has fundamentally transformed our warning signals of security threats and has fundamentally transformed our operational approach. Our partnership with the NMDPRA and support from ONSA has enhanced our operational effectiveness through intelligence sharing, coordinated enforcement actions, and harmonized strategic planning. We intend to expand this collaborative framework to include additional stakeholders, particularly the Nigerian Navy, for enhanced maritime domain awareness, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps for critical infrastructure protection, and border communities for improved intelligence sharing.
He stresses that the service will continue to sharpen its operations as it is prepared to implement additional strategic initiatives.
Consequently, we will be implementing the following strategic initiatives, among others, in the following weeks. 1. Deployment of advanced surveillance technology along identified high-risk corridor. 2. Establishment of additional tactical response teams with specialized training in petroleum products interdiction. And 3. Enhanced community engagement programs to foster greater cooperation from border communities and implementation of an intelligence-driven task risk assessment framework to optimize resource allocation. Let me be very, very clear. There will be no safe haven for smugglers in our operational areas. We shall maintain this momentum and continue to adapt our strategies to counter the dynamic tactics of these saboteurs. We will deploy additional resources if necessary and adopt even more stringent measures to ensure that petroleum products meant for domestic consumption are secured for the benefits of all Nigerians.
Operation Whirlwind has, within less than 3 months, and prior to this most recent seizure, seized 245,370 liters of premium motor spirit, valued at 238,140,000 naira, hence attracting the Comptroller General's commendation and joy that the nation's economy is being protected by actions of the operation. keying into the collaborative posture of the Nigeria Customs Service as provided by the policy thrust of Comptroller General of Customs, which consists of consolidation, collaboration, and innovation. Customs Area Controller Seme Command Comptroller Ben Uramalugo accepts the invitation of Redeemers University, where he is a distinguished speaker at the 5th session of the university's conference tagged Redeemers University International Model United Nations Conference 2025. Comptroller Uramalugo starts by educating the audience on what customs actually refers to.
Customs is an agency or body that has the responsibility of generating revenue, trade facilitation, and anti-smuggling activities. And customs is also a gatekeeper that makes sure that our custom goods don't enter into the country. It also involves in the import and export of a country. And that is the area we talk about import and export. And that is international relations for you.
He takes time to highlight successes recorded by the Nigeria Customs Service in all of its areas mandate. We bring to the fore an excerpt of his presentation.
Now, another area that the Nigeria Customs Service have done relatively well is in the area of anti-smuggling activities. This is one of the jobs that Nigeria Customs issues. If you go to our African Military Act, which has 33 parts, 282 sections, and one schedule, it was a He has given us so much powers. And that is the reason why, over the years, Customs has been making serious of its arms and ammunition to make sure they don't come in. Another area which the Nigeria Customs Service has done well in the area of drug drugs. There is no crime that has no linkage with the drug. You cannot engage in armed robbery. You cannot involve in one thing or the other without being inflamed by drug. That's why it is important that we see drugs. In the area of anti-smuggling activities, last year alone, we see goods worth about 5 billion of the TDA value of 5 billion under the leadership of Mr. Adeniyi MFI.
Speaking with the Customs Duty crew, Vice Chancellor Redeemers University gives his impression of Comptroller Uramalugo's presentation.
He was very, very clear and concise in explaining the role of customs in the society and the contribution customs have been making in developing our economy. And it's so amazing. And I'm sure with all the various points he raised during this lecture regarding the contribution of customs to Nigeria economy, everyone has been enlightened in terms of having a change of perception concerning customs service in Nigeria.
The theme of the conference is Leaving No One Behind, acting together for the advancement of peace, sustainable development, and human dignity for present and future generations. In line with the Comptroller General of Customs Bashir Adeniyi's policy thrust, one of which is collaboration, the Kano Jigawa Command synergizes with sister agencies operating at the Aminu Kano International Airport. Customs Area Controller of the Command, Comptroller Abubakar Dalhatu, has convened an interactive session where presentations are made with the aim of bringing participants to terms with global best practices. Comptroller Dalhatu's welcome address at the session is inspiring.
We are going to share some things that will make you believe our country is at crossroads in relation to key performance indicators on anti-money laundering and terrorism financing, which has led to our country being admitted into grey list by the Financial Action Task Force, FATF. And very soon, Nigeria as a nation, we are going to see presentation from the NFIU here in our midst. This trend is disturbing, and something drastic and urgent needed to be done to salvage our country's image in relation to issues surrounding money laundering, currency declaration, passenger search. The implication is our action and inaction are seen and viewed. Also, they come with some consequences in the Committee of Nations. I'm happy All of us here are very senior managers who are operating at strategic level. Therefore, we have a duty to save our country's image and reputation by sensitizing, supervising our officers and officials working under us at both tactical and operational level.
The occasion sees two papers presented, one from the customs side on the roles of the Nigeria Customs Service at international airports, and the paper focuses on anti-money laundering measures and passenger search and documentation. The other paper, which touches on the importance of currency declaration and its global implications, is presented by officers from the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, with key points including the necessity for strict compliance with currency declaration regulations and the risk of being blacklisted by the international financial community if compliance is not adhered to. The session becomes more interactive, providing for question and answer sessions as well as recommendations.
Hello and welcome to the segment Customs Hub on Customs Duty. This is a segment that summarizes some of the activities of the Nigeria Customs Service regarding weekly revenue generation from import duty, excise duty, and other levies. We take a look at the total number of pre-arrival assessment reports issued and revenue generated from Friday 20th of February 2025 to Thursday 6th of March 2025. The total amount of pre-arrival assessment reports, also known as PAR, issued for the week amounts to 4,865. The Nigeria Customs Service generated a total of 142,323,629,906 naira 8 kobo in revenue for the week. On excise duty collection, the Nigeria Customs Service collected the sum of 466,626,859 naira 8 kobo. That is all for the segment Customs Hub.
This is where we draw the curtains on this week's episode of Customs Duty. For more information, you can always follow us on our social media handles, now being displayed on your screen. You could also visit our website at www.customs.gov.ng for more updates about the service. Strive to be a patriotic citizen, a compliant trader, avoid smuggling, and always pay the correct duty to make Nigeria a more prosperous nation. See you same time next week. I am Tosi Obiakeme. Thank you for watching.